Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a couple new pickups I've gotten over the past couple weeks, and as well as some of the locations I've picked them up from. I know that's something I've wanted to add for a while, and we finally started getting footage and video from these places, so that'll be a cool addition. So first up is an eBay pickup, which is Tobal number 1. The art was done by Akira Toriyama, which has done Dragon Ball Z, so that's really cool. The art's really good in this game. But what I really wanted was the sampler CD. So the sampler CD has a demo of Final Fantasy VII, which has some differences from the final game. And I'm a huge nerd for Final Fantasy VII, and I didn't even know this existed until recently. So I literally, as soon as I found out it existed, went on eBay. I didn't find many copies of it. This is the only one I really found, and so I just bought it. Definitely we're going to look at that sampler CD at some point, and I might do a review on Tobal number 1. It seems like a pretty fun game. So that's kind of the first pickup. Up next were a few games that I just kind of got locally. NBA Ballers for the original Xbox. Nothing special here, just a standard original Xbox game, pretty cheap. Just didn't already have it, so. And then also, We Love Golf on the Wii, because we love golf games on the Wii. And you can play online, evidently. I bet you can't anymore, but you could when it was new. So then, work took me to Dallas, Texas, and I went to a place called Retro Madness. I'd been there before, so I went back since I was back down there. And they had some really good gems there. I was able to pick up Super Bubble Pop, which I saw there last time I was there, and I guess no one bought it in the year and a half, or the year I haven't been there. So that was pretty interesting that was either still there or someone else brought in a copy. I don't see this too often, even though it's not an expensive game, so I went ahead and picked it up. I also got Winback 2, which I don't know much about Winback as a series. I know Nintendo's including it with those N64 games, so I may play the first one and see what it's all about. Then we had ESPN Extreme long box for the PS1. I always love picking up these long boxes because they didn't make them that long. This one is cracked at the top. You got to be a little careful with it, but everything is complete in there, so. And with so many of these long boxes, it's hard to find really good, pristine long boxes anymore. And then they also had, speaking of pristine long boxes, Primal Rage, which is one of my favorite fighting games ever. I almost didn't pick it up when I was there. Primal Rage long box is a pretty expensive game, but I couldn't help it. Like I said, I love Primal Rage. I've wanted a Primal Rage long box for a long time, so I finally just picked it up and went along with that. So it's really neat. It did come with the protective casing, so just kind of a nice little bonus that the store had around it, or maybe it was traded in that way. That could be the case too. Up next was Las Vegas with Retro City Games. So this place was really cool. I've never been to Las Vegas before. I had to go there for work. And this place was awesome. He just had so much stuff. There was so much to look through. I bought a ton. I don't show them in this video, but he had a ton of just loose discs. And in those loose discs were tons of demo discs. I did pick up quite a few games, like SSX Tricky. The case is a little dirty, but, it's still a game I didn't have. Eagle Eye Golf. I saw that, and I was like, yeah, I've got to buy this. It's not expensive, and we'll give it a shot here soon. I may do a review on this one because it's a little obscure to me, and it may not be obscure at all. Then there was this jam-packed demo disc, complete in box. This is one of the other demo discs I picked up. It just happened to be complete versus the other ones, which were loose in box. They were loose. They were just completely loose discs. So then we also had Inuyasha Feudal Combat. So this is the last Inuyasha game I didn't own. I own the RPG, and I own the original fighting game on PS1, Inuyasha Feudal Fairy Tale. So now that I have this one, I own 3 Inuyasha games. I think there might be a mobile game, because I don't script these videos. I just kind of talk through them. So yeah, I think there may be a mobile game, but I'm pretty sure that I have all the console games now. Rippin' Riders for the Dreamcast. It's just a Dreamcast game I didn't own yet. I don't own a huge portion of the Dreamcast library. So yeah, I went ahead and picked it up. It looks pretty fun. I didn't have a Dreamcast growing up, so getting to experience some of these Dreamcast games is super exciting. Because I always thought the Dreamcast was so cool as a kid, but we never had it. So then we also had Siphon Filter, which is a cool game I've been looking for a while. It's Black Label. I haven't been able to find it Black Label yet. It's Siphon Filter's common, but they're almost always greatest hits, and I didn't want a greatest hits copy. So super happy to finally find a Black Label copy of Siphon Filter. There were 2 games. The very first video games I ever owned growing up were for the Super Nintendo. And I've always kind of wanted to rebuild that, right? So I'm still on the lookout for a Super Nintendo in box. I'll find it eventually. I'm still on the lookout for the other game. But I finally found Zelda, A Link to the Past, complete in box. This was at Retro City Games in Las Vegas. This was so awesome to find. Like, I was so excited to find this and to add it to the collection. It's one of the first 2 games I've ever owned. And obviously, because I was a little kid, like, I threw away the box. And I don't actually own any of my Super Nintendo stuff anymore. I need to rebuild that. And super excited that this is the first piece of that I've rebuilt. Like, owning those 2 games is like a goal of mine. And the other game, I don't want to say it on here because, like, I kind of want it to be a secret. And when I find it, I'll talk about it. But the first one was A Link to the Past. It was one of the first 2 games I ever owned. And I'm so stoked to have it complete. It's not in the best shape, but complete in box Super Nintendo, finding it in a lot of better shape than this is like finding a needle in a haystack unless you're going to go on eBay and pay a lot. I was happy to pay the price he was asking for this. It wasn't like a ripoff. He was super fair. His store was awesome, and excited to have this in the collection. But yeah, so that's some of the stuff I've picked up recently. I do have a few more pickups than that, including some other stuff I kind of forgot to show in this video from these 2 stores. But that'll be talked about in the next pickup video. I already have more pickups that I need to go through. But I didn't want to kind of overload the video. So, yeah. So, we'll talk about more of those pickups and some of this other stuff I picked up recently in the video for either next month or in a couple weeks, right in there. So, I appreciate everybody watching. We're still in the hunt for 100 subs. So if you do like this content, if you like the archival videos, if you like the reviews of weird old video games, I'd appreciate a sub if you can. We're on that march to 100 right now. And besides that, if you like this content, if you want to just talk about video games, I do stream on Twitch under the same name, CDN. So twitch.tv/CDN, and hope to see everybody there. Have a nice one, and we'll see you in the next video.